All right. Well, welcome to our videos for our tracks. I'm just going to do a couple of hopefully short videos that just kind of walk through how we run our tracks through Ableton. Um, and basically, it's going to be good just so everyone's on the same page of how we're running them on a Sunday morning and a Sunday night in all three of our locations at Emerge. So, um, it can be a pretty overwhelming thing. So just that's why I wanted to do these videos, just so you guys can kind of watch through it. You can watch it as much as you want, write down notes, whatever you want to do. But I'm just going to talk through. This first video is just going to basically cover the basics of Ableton and what we are looking at right now. So I'll try to kind of speak through it and explain everything the best I can, and then in some other videos we'll go into some more advanced things, and then another video just for troubleshooting. So if something goes wrong, which things do go wrong, just basically what to do, what to look for, and how to troubleshoot that. So let's begin. Even before we get to this stage here where we have it open, obviously, so Redcliffe and Morayfield have MacBooks, so they are laptops, and then Warner has a computer which stays there. So obviously start by turning them on. If you're using a laptop, I always make sure prioritize plugging that charger in, that power in, because you don't want to get halfway through a service and then realize you didn't plug it in and it's going to die during worship. So you definitely don't want to do that. So prioritize plugging that in. Plug in the interface. The interface is those red boxes, the Focusrite red boxes. Plug that USB in. At Warner though, both power and the interfaces are already plugged in. So plug it in, turn it on. The password for all three of the computers is going to be 1234. So I know it may have been different in the past, but from now on, just to kind of, so it's the same across the board, the password is going to be 1234. Super simple, too simple actually, but just so we all know what that is. Now, you log in, move your mouse down to the bottom here, we'll have Ableton Live. It looks like this. You'll open it up, and then you'll get to see it. So, I'm going to explain to you what is going on your screen right now. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of different colors, just lots of things happening. It can be pretty overwhelming, but we're going to go through step by step. So the way you want to look at it is, if you're going up and down here, we've got these columns. It's got a title at the top. So this column is click. So we all know what click is. It's our metronome. But then this one next to it is click audio. So let's talk about the difference there. We use just this click column 90% of the time, and it's using an inbuilt click in Ableton, and you generate it, you pretty much draw it in, and so it looks like this, but we'll cover that in another video, how to put that in. But if we just play that click, so you have your click channel here. If we come across, if we just play what a click just sounds like by itself, that is it. So that is if you only have something in the click channel. All right, so the next one, click audio, which we very rarely use. That is only for, if we get a track, if we get a backing track that for some reason, for whatever reason, I don't know, sometimes in Christmas we use them a lot because the songs have fluctuating tempos, and so the click that you get with it actually follows that tempo. So that's why you would use one of these clicks, a click audio. Basically, it's an MP3. Instead of being just the same thing over and over again, the same bar over and over again, it's an MP3 or a WAV file that plays throughout the whole song. And so it sounds pretty much exactly the same. If I just play that, it's a different tone for the click, but very similar. So those are both of our clicks. We'll come into some more details of what's down the bottom and how to kind of add them in later, but right now I just want to talk about what's going on the screen. Now our third column here is our guide. So our guide is just the voice that does the 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes it says chorus, all of that kind of gear. So literally you have your guide in here. If we play that, you would have heard it before. It sounds like this.
1, 2. Intro 2, 3, 4.
There you go. Usually as the click with it, song usually comes afterwards. So that is also very simple. Now, here we have our tracks. Now, this has been used at Warner. That's why there is a track L and a track R. So track L and R, it's because there's a stereo setup at Warner. Now, I believe as of now, we have a stereo setup also at Redcliffe, but I think I'm pretty sure Morayfield is mono for now. So when you're watching this, who knows what it'll be, but what that means is at Warner and Redcliffe, you'll need to have 2 channels here, and you put the track in twice because you want to send it to the left and the right. If you're at Morayfield, then you only have to put it in once. Don't freak out about that too much. We'll talk about that later. But here's the track just by itself. So you won't hear anything at the start because usually it's counting us in with the guide and the click. There we go. So that is just the track by itself. Now, we looked at all of them separately. Let's play them all together.
1, 2, intro, 2, 3, 4.
And that is what you get. So I just wanted to show what is going on separately, how all the pieces work together to make what we get at the end. If we now come over to here on the right, where it says master at the top, this is essentially our song list. So obviously we've got a lot of different things here just to show, that was the click and the guide and everything like that. But it's probably more going to look, it's going to look like these 2 at the bottom here. It's going to have the title of the song, Breakthrough, just so we know what the song is. It's going to have the BPM of the song, so it has to have the number, and then it has to have in capitals BPM, and then we put 4/4 because obviously, so for this tells the click. What's happening here when we're putting the BPM in here and the 4/4, we're telling Ableton the time signature. It actually reads this, and so it knows that Breakthrough is 126 BPM and it's in 4/4. So to show an example of this, if you look at it, so 126 and then See the Light is 116 BPM. If we come all the way up to the top left, the BPM, this is BPM here, is at 126 now because we played Breakthrough.
1.
But if we play See the Light and you keep an eye up on this top left, as soon as I trigger See the Light, that's going to change to 116.
1, 2, intro,
so there
2,
you go.
3, 4.
So basically we're just communicating with Ableton, letting it know what the BPM is, what the time signature is. If your whole set is in 4/4, it's actually not necessary to put that in, but I just do it every single time because you never want to, if you go to a song that's in 6/8 and then forget to put it in again after that, you're going to be hearing it in 6/8. So we'll look at a 6/8 click in another video. Now, one of the final sections of the basics is over on the left here. We've got a menu, and if we click on that, the tracks, the Ableton tracks folder that we've got, it's got all of the tracks that we use. There's a lot of stuff in here. And let's look at, so we were talking about Breakthrough before. So we have Breakthrough, and it's got the BPM, and then we've got Breakthrough
1,
Guide.
2,
I'm starting to play it. So this Breakthrough here is going to be the track. When it just says, when it has the BPM next to it, that's going to be the track audio that we put in these track columns. The guide is obviously going to go here. So if we delete all of these, we literally just click on it and drag it over. Click on it, drag it over. And then the guide, click on it, drag it over. So up and down is what the file is going to be, so guide, and left to right, sideways, is what song you're working with. If we come down here, there's a lot to look at. Now, you don't need to look at anything except for where it says Audio 2. Audio 2. Now, a lot of this should already be set up, but it's good for everyone to know. If we look at Audio 2, and then the first drop-down menu says EXT out, so that's exterior out. You can leave that, but what you want to do is this is telling Ableton where to send the sound to in the audio interface. So this is so that we can have click mixed separately on the desk. We don't want click mixed in with the track. So this is something to look at. If click is mixed in with the track, this is a good thing to look at. But so our click, we are sending to 1, because this is click audio, both of those are going to go to 1. Our guide, which also gets mixed with our click, is on 1. So all of those 3, these are the channels that are getting sent only to in-ears, are going all to the 1. And then once we get to the tracks, this is where it gets different. So you would go, right, you would choose 3 and 4. I have to configure something because I haven't used this laptop for tracks in a long time. I have to turn on 3 and 4. Actually, I can't do that. So it would be 3 and 4. Now, I'm going to talk in the next video about how that should already be all set once you open up Ableton. But that's good to know. So you just need to be able to know. And it's good to be able to tell your sound guy as well. If they're asking, hey, where are you sending it? I'm not getting it in the right spot. You can say, I'm sending, click and guide are going to channel 1 like they should be, and tracks are going to channel 3 and 4. Or in Moray field, when there's only 1, it'll just be to channel 3 or channel 2. So that is the basics of everything that's going on here in Ableton, just the complete basics. To cover some other things, if you want to open up a set that you've saved, you can go File and then Open Recent, and it shows all of the recent ones. But I'm going to stop this one now, and then we're going to talk in the next video about, we're going to practically go through and set up a song list, so you guys can watch that and see how that works.